What's up, everybody? I'm Jones.
And I'm Mann. And we're Jones and Mann. And tonight we are jonesing on the little baby, Stagg Jr. All right, Jones. So again, we just shot another video earlier, and I was just talking about how, I literally just stepped off the plane, called you. We had been talking back and forth, and you were like, "Let's shoot." I had a couple of really good finds, thanks to some friends in Nashville. Big shouts out to Adam for blessing me with the Stagg Jr. or locating it for me at least. So this is Stagg Jr. Mm-hmm. It was $60, $59. You see it right there on the thing. So I need to start putting the price on everything so I can remember. $59.95. This particular bottle is 127.9 proof. And I think that you'll probably share some information as to why that's so important on this. But this is Stagg Jr. So what can you tell us about the Staggy baby?
All right, so this is another one of Buffalo Trace Distillery's blends or whiskeys. And the thing that is really unique about this one, so there's a Stagg George T Stagg.
George T, which we've been hunting for.
And that one is aged a minimum of 15 years. Well, this particular Stagg Jr. is aged for almost a decade, and the combination, the unique thing about the two is that they're unfiltered, uncut, straight directly out of the barrel at barrel proof. So you might get one that'll be 130 proof. You might get one that might be a little higher or lower proofage, but it's directly whatever is going to come out of that barrel, straight, unfiltered, uncut.
That's right. And even a lot of the story behind how Stagg Jr. came about was because George T was in such high demand that they decided that 10 years, at that 10-year mark, they could pull some juice out and call it a junior and rebrand it and offer it and make it available. So that birthed the Stagg Jr.
That's right.
So in theory, this is the same juice with a little less age.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess, without a lot of prompt and circumstance, unless you got some more you want to tell us about old Staggy.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you know anything about George T Stagg?
No, not really.
All right, so as you open the bottle, doing the man versus bottle.
Not this time. I'm ready.
You prepped out? Oh, man. All right, guys. So one of the things that I did see on the website about what made George T Stagg so unique and so memorable was that he, in the 19th century, he created the most dominant American distillery in the 19th century. So that's, one good, unique historical fact. And that was during a time called, do you know what the 19th century was called?
All the way into Prohibition.
Yeah. No, the Gilded Age.
Oh, the Gilded Age. Okay, yeah.
That's what it's typically called. So, that's pretty impressive to be the most dominant distillery in a period such as that. So,
okay, yeah.
I'm excited about trying it, and this too is a pretty tough find. So
this is a hard find. I saw it once before for like $120.
Oh wow!
For the bottle. I've seen it online even way beyond the $120 price. And just again, shout outs to Adam for looking out and blessing us with this one. I have tried a shot of George T. And while it was after a night of having a good time, it didn't shoot to my top favorite list. And because, it's a high proof. So that's not in my arena. So if I had to call it now, I probably am not going to love this. But I'm going into it with an open mind.
Knowing that it's such a high proof, I was going to, kind of ask if the guys would mind if we cheat them out and go ahead and pour it on the rock.
No, I mean, no.
I
got you. To let it rest.
I got you. A little, to kind of bring the proofage down and.
All right, so we'll go.
Yeah, kind of, get the full enjoyment of it instead of really having two neat shots.
Yeah. Okay.
Because at 100 plus proof.
Yeah, this is 127.
So,
127.9. So I think we can call that 128.
Yeah.
So we had a little technical difficulties there with the recording process. So I think we missed our initial taste.
Yeah.
So let's go back and just kind of recover that and recap it, because I really want to make sure that, you know, people get the experience. We've already popped the bottle. The neat shot was strong.
It was extremely strong.
Extremely strong. If I took a look at this and said, you know, from the nose of it, it should be like a little cloud of vapor right here on the top. But it's got some really good notes underneath there. When you taste it, I'm like, woo, she's got some heat to her. But once that heat goes away, you can really taste I call it the Buffalo Trace taste.
Yeah.
You get that Buffalo Trace taste. But one thing that usually an overproof like this will leave you dry mouth, cotton mouth full. But it still leaves you, you know, with some flavor and some juices kind of floating around in there. But this is definitely an overproof.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely overproof. And I don't know if it's the luck of the draw or what may have. But as it sits longer here on the ice,
it gets better.
It gets better.
Okay.
You get more of the flavors.
So before we do that, what was your neat? Anything to add on your neat shot?
On the neat shot, when I tasted it neat, at first it was like this rush of flavors, and that before I can even start to figure out what any of those flavors were, it was like a punch in the face.
Yeah.
That proof was just it was like pow pow pow. You know, like Mike Tyson had literally punched me in my face from all the heat.
Yeah.
So all the flavors that were building just kind of dissipated to fighting the heat of the proofage. And I was like, okay, this is good. This is really good. Now I want to see what it tastes like on the rocks.
Right.
And initially on the rocks, and you know, we let it sit for a while initially as well, and it brought back a lot of those flavors, and it made it a very curious drink.
Yeah.
Because once the proofage was kind of tamed down, it was like, okay, what are these flavors? You know, what am I tasting?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I didn't get, you know, sometimes you get bacon spices like cinnamon and vanilla. There were some aspects of something of that nature, but I got a sweetness that you don't always get in all bourbons.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it. Kind of that sweetness is like almost reminiscent of a rum.
Yes.
But it's very short lived.
Yeah.
Like right on it. Like as soon as you stick your tongue in it, you kind of get like it's a little bit of a rum flavor, and then it just kind of dissipates, and you go back to I can't call it anything but that Buffalo Trace flavor.
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, a lot of the Buffalo Trace brands have those similar flavors.
Yeah.
So they have bacon spices, they have sweetness, but this has like. Normally, when I think of rum, I think of molasses.
Yeah.
This doesn't have a molasses taste. It's more like maybe like a brown sugar.
Yeah, I think that's the best way, because brown sugar is not really all the way sweet.
Yeah.
But it's got a little sweetness to it, but it's got a little bitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think brown sugar is a great way to kind of describe that. You know, I want to say. You can tell there was some heat in there because it split my ice already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just finished my shot and it's been sitting there for a good while. But so I guess we need to go ahead and get back into our ratings.
Yeah.
So, and as I've said a little earlier, a neat shot, I don't think I can give it all fairness because the proofage was just so high that I didn't enjoy it. So for me to give it like a 3.5 based off the neat shot would be completely unfair.
Okay.
But then to say this is a 4.5 just on the rocks would also be unfair because I don't want somebody to just go out and say, oh yeah, I'll just...
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that to yourself, guys. Neat is really not where you want to go.
Unless you're a high proof bourbon drinker. If you're a high proof bourbon drinker, then you're gonna love this because it has a lot of character. It has a lot of flavor to it. Even though it's weird that I can't really discern different things other than maybe that brown sugar, maybe a little bit of that rum kind of flavor to it. But that's it. But it's good. I think it's complex. But I can't say like, oh, this is vanilla, because it's not vanilla.
Yeah, it's a very curious blend. Like it's hard to just distinctly say what it is
And break it down. Only thing I can say is it's definitely Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, it's definitely Buffalo Trace.
Yes. So you ended up with a
4.25.
4.25. And bourbon is not where I live. It's not my home. But I am dabbling and dibbling in bourbon. This is a really good bourbon. And I think on the scale of bourbons, this is probably a 4. Probably a 4. In the world of my drinkability, I probably would rate it less because, like, now that I've had it, I'm not probably going to run out and buy another bottle because I'm not really going. It's just too much heat for me to drink like that. And even on the rocks, it is still pretty bold, but not enough character in my wheelhouse.
Right.
So I would probably say in the bourbon world, I'm gonna definitely say it's a strong 4. But in my likability, I would probably rate it like a 3.5.
All right, that's awesome. If I can get a 3.5 from Mann,
it's
the
good.
rum drinker, tequila drinker, not bourbon, not whiskey, that is a win-win for us guys.
Yeah, for sure. I think the other thing I think about too is, like, I don't know if I mentioned it or that part got cut out, but you're talking, pay $60 for the bottle, and it could potentially be. I've seen it for $120. I've seen it online for like $199.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay $200 for it.
Oh, I wouldn't pay $200 for
Yeah.
it. It's not.
I wouldn't pay $120 for it.
Nah, I wouldn't go probably over $100 for it myself.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy it, and it's simply because I think at the price point of $60, this fits right in line.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good price point, even up to maybe $90 or $100.
Okay.
That's stretching it a bit, but because it does have a lot of curious flavors to it.
Okay. Well, now this is 60.
Mm-hmm.
We tried E.H. Taylor single barrel, which is, let's say 60. We paid more than that for the bottle, but let's say retails at 60. What would your preference be? Both are sitting on the table. Which would you reach for?
It depends on the season.
Okay.
If I'm in one of my seasons where I'm working out really hard and not drinking quite as much,
you can go bigger.
I'm going to go bigger for better because I know I'm only going to have that one drink.
Right.
If it is more of a relaxed period where I'm not training as hard, I'll be more prone to get that single barrel because that single barrel has a lot of flavors. The proofage isn't as high, and I can enjoy more drinks.
Yeah, so your Stagg is your one-hitter quitter.
Oh, yeah. That is definitely more one-hitter quitter.
All right. So, yeah, I can see this bottle lasting a while at that standpoint because you come in, you're not gonna spend the night and do 3 or 4 of these, pounding them back to back to back.
If you do, you're going to be pounding back to back to back. The next day, you might look like you fought Mike Tyson.
Right. All right, so I think that we did a good recover. We did have a little technical issue, but I think that those were really the comments that we had when we tasted our official first sips. So, as always, subscribe, click the bell so you get all the new notifications. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. At Jones and Mann. And this has been another episode with the Stagg Jr. Maybe one day we can get a George T.
Oh, yeah. It's on the hunt.
It's on the hunt. Clink them and drink them.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
next time. See, I think we'll splice those two together and rock and roll. It'll be all right. That'll be a short episode.
Yeah. Some kind of, disturbance in it. And,